Okay, folks, so we are going to talk about how to pick an object for assignment 2, which is a technical / mechanical description. And so I have just taken like 3 minutes and just grabbed some things that I think, just in my house, that I think would be helpful, would be potentially useful objects. The thing that I want you to know is that whatever object you pick, you have to be perfectly fine, and whoever's object it is has to be perfectly fine with you taking it apart, because you are going to have to take it apart because that's the only way to find all of its parts and subparts. That like includes screws, all sorts of other things, right? So you have to be able to take it apart. So just don't pick something that is going to tick someone off if you take it apart. So the first object that I found in the house that I think is a simple object with a movable part is indeed this rolling pin. You can kind of see that I would have to take this apart, and at the very least we see that there are what I would imagine to be, I'm just going to clock it right now, like 4 major parts. This part that rolls, this is 2 and 3, the handles, but there's obviously a metal dowel that is connecting this you'd have to take out. There's also this little washer of some sort, plastic washer. But then also, you know, even on the handle itself, you've got this sub part of these 2 holes at either end. So you don't want to pick anything that's more technical than this necessarily. Another thing that you could do is a pair of scissors. These do indeed move. Obviously, you'd have to take them apart to be able to describe all of the features of a pair of scissors, but that might be something to do. Another thing, I don't even know why I have this. Can I just be really honest with you? Do you ever just get something for your kitchen and you're like, do I use this? I don't even know. But anyways, a lemon press. Obviously I'd have to take out this like a little bolt in here. And then each of these would be its major parts. But remember that even on this, there are sub parts, right? So there's the handle itself, then there's, you know, these bits right here, but then, you know, you've got a very different sort of mechanism on the other side that's doing the pressing. So you'd have to describe all of that, right? So a lemon press. Also, a carabiner. I got this, I think, in Asheville, North Carolina. I love that place. Anyway, but you see this is a movable part here. You'd have to obviously remove this pin. So that's another thing. Chip clip. Some of your chip clips might have like a magnet on the back, but you would also have to take off the mechanism that holds the 2 parts, the 2 component pinchers together. And obviously I would hop on the Google machine and I'm sure that there's someone out there that's describing there's probably technical descriptions for all of this, right? All the parts and subparts. Another thing, if you're a tea person, if you're a fancy tea person, I don't know if I'm fancy. I just like the loose leaf mint tea sometimes. Anyway, so this is a tea sort of steeper, and you're thinking, well, Dr. G, this does not actually have movable parts. Now, technically, there are lots of different parts on this. There's a little hook, there's the chain itself, there is the contraption that's holding the tea, but there's also this lever, and this is where it opens, where you put in the tea stuff. So you'd have to take apart quite a bit to do this. You know, so the hinges right here, and then also this little lever, right? So there's a lot in this, just one really simple object, right? A cigar box. No, I don't smoke cigars, but I do like cigar boxes. So obviously you've got the top part, the lid of the box itself, what it's made out of, but you also have its hinges in there that you're gonna have to like take apart, right? Oh, closing that on myself. Last but not least is this cup. Now you might be thinking, where in the heck is the movable part? It's not just that you can take off the lid, right? So this is one part of it, right? The cup itself. But the movable part is actually on the lid itself. This lid has this little mouth hole right here. And there's this sliding thing, which I think is really neat, so that you can kind of like cover your drink and not spill it on yourself. So you might be like, oh, what do I have to do? Well, this lid is itself a part, but there are actually two other subparts that are attached to this. One is the mouth cover, the sliding mouth cover, which makes it the movable part. But you can also see like the subpart. Oh, sorry, I'm going to stop. There's also this silicone sort of washer to like keep all your liquids in. I'm not sure if you would call it a washer. We'll figure out. The Google machine. But even on just this lid right here, just this base part of the lid, there are so many component parts and subparts, not just this hole in the middle, not just the mouth hole, but this like tab to lift it, this groove right here, and this little hole that sort of functions as a stopper to make sure the slider doesn't like over slide and be doing weird stuff while you're drinking, but also like the threading around here that holds in the washer, right? And then this piece, which is the base that goes into the lid itself, right? So there's a lot, right? But that's what I'm, in terms of like, this gives you an idea of like the zip code of things you can pick. And you can certainly do any of the things that I just showed you. But those are all things that I think would make pretty good objects, but that's what you're looking for. I mean, you could also technically do a pair of glasses, right? There, it's got movable parts, right? So, you know, you've got things. Just don't pick something so so complicated, because again, you have to take it apart. And this is supposed to be a simple assignment, so don't make it harder than it's supposed to be. Like, pick something simple, because I promise you, you're going to have to measure stuff, and you're going to be like, I cannot believe that I have to do this. And like, solidarity, I get it. But you do have to. So, you know, just make it easier on yourself. All right.